The following program has not been rated and is intended for mature audiences only.
This is where the big boys come to play. The Ultimate Fighting Championship. And this is their playpen, the Octagon. Home to the toughest, most intense hand-to-hand combat ever. Yes, it's UFC 10, the tournament, where 8 fighters walk in and only one champion walks out. The Ultimate Fighting Champion. Tonight, it's the triumphant return of the undefeated UFC 8 champion, Don the Predator Fry. Can Fry grab another title, or will this man, Gary Big Daddy Goodrich, find a new way to win? Or will Giant Killer Mark Hall spoil the party for both of them? These 3 veterans, plus a new field of martial arts competitors, are all here, ready for the ultimate test of skill and will, of style and guile. It's UFC 10, a milestone in martial arts history. The Octagon awaits. Seeing is believing. Let's open up the gate. We're in the magic city of Birmingham, Alabama, where the mighty statue of Vulcan, the Roman god of fire and forge, stands as a monument to the city's iron industry. The Civil Rights Institute, a testament to the city's civil rights history. The 16th Street Baptist Church, a place where Martin Luther King preached peace. Legion Field in Birmingham, a host site to the summer's Olympic soccer matches, home for so many years to the legendary coach Paul Bear Bryant. Birmingham also means baseball. Rickwood Field, the oldest baseball field in America, a living museum which showcased Ruth, Cobb, Jackie Robinson, and a young man named Willie Mays who led the Black Barons to the championship in 1948. And we welcome you to the State Fair Arena, which has played host to the Alabama Fair since 1892. A multi-dimensional facility in the heart of this modern progressive city. Home to basketball, boxing, concerts, and rodeo. And tonight, host of the Ultimate Fighting Championship. Hello again, everyone. I'm Bruce Beck. Welcome to UFC 10. And tonight, the tournament returns. That's right, 8 fighters in a single elimination tournament. 4 fights in the opening round, 2 in the semis, 1 in the final. It's the format that UFC fans know best, and the format in which you have to win 3 grueling fights in one night. Now this evening we've got some veterans returning. We've got Fry, Goodrich, and Hall, and some very tough newcomers, including Mark Coleman, who is a 2-time All-America wrestler, and Moti Horenstein, a 3-time Israeli karate champion. So we've got 3 veterans, 5 newcomers, 8 overall. We're looking forward to an action-packed evening here in Birmingham, Alabama. It's the UFC. Anything goes. It's unpredictable. We're looking forward to sharing it with you. Certainly the favorite tonight is Don the Predator Fry, and he's standing by with our own gold medalist, Jeffrey Blatnick. Jeff?
Are you talking to me? Yeah, what? I can't hear you. I'm here with Don Fry. Don Fry, the UFC 8 champion and the winner of his fight card in UFC 9. And Don, you're undefeated. Everyone knows who you are now. Do you find it a little bit more difficult, more pressure on you now that you have to go out and perform and people are after you?
I enjoy being in this position. You know, it's like being a trained dog, attack dog. You have a job, you do it. You see somebody, you kill them.
Well, you fought in both the tournament-style UFC and the fight card-style UFC. Which do you prefer and why?
I prefer them both. Either way, it doesn't matter. I'll fight them all.
Do you find one easier than the other?
I think the easier one was the single fight. Yeah, so such in Detroit. All you have to do is prepare for one opponent, and once it's done, it's done.
Well, you told me before, because of your conditioning, you like tournament-style action. Your first-round opponent, Mark Hall, a veteran. How do you assess him?
Mark's a fantastic fighter. You got to give the man credit. He's done a tremendous job thus far. He's a dangerous opponent. He's not to be taken lightly.
Well, if you only had one fight left, who would you say would be the toughest opponent for you in the UFC?
That's a real hard one. There's so many fantastic fighters out there. It's really hard for me to say something like that. You have the great Dan Severn, the great Ken Shamrock, Marco Ruas, Oleg Carl. They're all great fighters. It'd be an honor to get in the ring with those men, and it's something that'd be dangerous also.
Well, that was a class answer by a class fighter. Don, we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Back to you, Bruce.
All right, thank you very much, Jeff. And here's a look at the way the bracket unfolds for UFC 10. Once again, it's a single elimination tournament. Giant killer Mark Hall, who took out 400-pound sumo wrestler Koji Katao in UFC 9, faces the man many consider the best all-around fighter in the UFC, that's undefeated Don Fry. Then two newcomers square off, both kickboxers, Scott Fiedler of Pacific, Missouri, Brian Johnston of San Jose, California. In what should be a terrific matchup, Mark Coleman knocks head with Moti Horenstein. Coleman, a former All-America wrestler, Horenstein, the three-time Israeli karate champion. And we finish the quarterfinals with pure power as John Campatella meets UFC 8 runner-up Gary Big Daddy Goodrich. Well, as you hardcore fans already know, we are live online on CompuServe, so come join us in the CompuServe Convention Center. All you CompuServe members log on and go convention, Ultimate Fighting Championship. You'll get the blow-by-blow calls, and don't forget to stick around after the show where we are going to do a live wrap-up in the conference room. And for those of you joining us online, a special treat tonight. A little bit later on, the Beast will be joining us live. That's right, Dan Severn will be right here, and he'll be answering your questions. So if you're on CompuServe, there's something you'd like to ask the Beast, Dan Severn, go Convention Ultimate Fighting Championship and join us live. And while you're there, don't forget to vote in our poll, who is the greatest fighter in the history of the UFC? Well, here are the laws of the Octagon. No biting, no eye gouging, and no fish hooking. The referee has the authority to restart the bout if there is a lack of action. No rounds, but a 12-minute time limit with 1 3-minute overtime in the quarters and the semis. A 15-minute time limit with 2 3-minute overtime sessions in the final. Here are the ways to win a fight tonight: by knockout, by submission, which is tapping the mat with your hand or foot. If the corner throws in a towel, if the referee stops the contest because a fighter cannot intelligently defend himself, by disqualification, or if time expires, 3 judges will render a decision. Now let's meet our 3 judges working tonight's UFC. Steve Neclia, a former Marine Corps boxer, now living in San Diego, California, columnist for a major martial arts magazine, Tung Soo Do, black belt. Michael D. Pasquale Jr., D. Pasquale Jiu-Jitsu, Rivervale, New Jersey, publisher and editor, Karate International magazine. And our 3rd judge this evening is Mark Denny from Hermosa Beach, California, co-founder of the stick fighting clan, the Dog Brothers, head instructor, Dog Brothers Martial Arts. And our referee, certainly no stranger to UFC fans, Big John McCarthy from Corona, California, a tactical instructor at the Los Angeles Police Academy. He's working his 10th UFC, a former jiu-jitsu competitor who has officiated over 60 no-rules fights. There's our chief medical advisor, Dr. Richard Istergel. He's from Howard Beach, New York. He's on the advisory council of the WBC. Dr. Stephen Goodman, plastic surgeon, Schenectady, New York, a member of the U.S. Olympic Sports Medicine Society. And our 3rd member of our medical team, Dr. Joel Cooperman, Denver, Colorado. There's Steve Goodman. He's a board-certified specialist in musculoskeletal injury. So I flip-flopped those 2 doctors, but they both are super in any event. And there's the man they call the cut man for the UFC, the likable Leon Tabbs. He hails from the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. Been around the fight game for 30 years. He's worked with Bone Crusher Smith, Jerry the Bull Martin, Evander the Real Deal Holyfield. Now, the UFC sanctioning body is the IFC, the International Fighting Council. Its commissioner is Art Davie of Las Vegas, Nevada, former sergeant in the Marine Corps. He saw his first mixed martial arts competition back in 1969 in a Bangkok nightclub. He's got the look of a commissioner, too. Here's our first matchup of the night. It's Mark Hall against Don the Predator Fry. Both guys have been in the UFC. Of course, Fry's undefeated. He's 4-0. And Mark Hall comes off that super victory over Koji Katao, the 400-pound sumo wrestler. So he's coming in with a bit of confidence, but he's got a tall task here. The tail of the tape for this first quarterfinal bout. Mark Hall, Muay Do is his discipline, 4th degree black belt. Donnie Fry, Greco-Roman wrestler. Hall comes in, he's 35 years of age. Fry is 30. You can see Fry with the weight advantage. Not much difference in height. One from California and one is from Arizona. Mark Hall, first man making his way to the octagon tonight. From Murrieta, California, in its 4th UFC, with a record of 3-1. Mark Hall, a teacher at a 6,000 square foot martial arts school, Muay Do and Street Combat Applications Training Center in Murrieta, California, managed by Jerry Dupuis.
Hall, a tremendous athlete. You saw him take out Katao in the last one. Big man, 340, 360 pounds, and he took him out with a shot to the nose that broke the Japanese sumo wrestler and his hopes of making success here at the UFC. Hall, Muay Do, he's a tactician. He's a real thinker when he goes out there. He's a great striker, and he likes to hide his ground skills. He has jiu-jitsu experience. He will be able to defend himself if he goes down, and he's capable of striking with more than his hands.
And Jeff, a word that's not up there.
Jerry, you take
Fearless.
care of your fighter, got it?
Without a doubt, he will stand out there and go with whoever is in front of him, whether big, little, mean, or whatever.
Well, let's have Mark Hall, as the Rolling Stones would say, introduce himself.
I believe I've proven my martial art abilities with a record of 3-1 in the octagon. My only loss to Paul Varlins, whom I know I can beat with a rematch. I'm here to do honor to my Dojin M World Grandmaster Tiger Yang in UFC 10.
Mark Hall, he is ready, but then again, he's always ready. Here comes a man that many consider the best all-around fighter in the UFC. The Predator, Don Fry, from Sierra Vista, Arizona. 4-0 in the UFC. UFC 8 champion in UFC 9, which was a bout format. He won his match convincingly. 700-plus victories in freestyle and Greco-Roman wrestling.
He has a good background from Arizona State and Oklahoma State in grappling, and what shocked us all was his striking ability. Tremendous hand speed, tremendous power in very short punches. Has some pro boxing experience. He is a good grappler, though we haven't seen him fight on the ground yet. It says prefers a stand-up fight, but he's somebody that gets angry when he hears that. He says he can fight on the ground, and he will hit you while he's on the ground.
All right, let's find out about Don Fry's approach to UFC 10.
I'm Don Fry, returning Ultimate Fighting Champion. I'm not here to prove my skills. I know what I can do. I'm not here to say hi to anybody. I am not at rest. I am not at peace. I have a real bad attitude. And when I go into the octagon, lock up your women and children, because all hell is going to break loose.
Well, the Tom Selleck lookalike says he likes to retain his anger. He does not want to go into the octagon happy.
No, he's somebody that wants to go in there with an attitude. He said his dog was killed in an accident, and he used that to motivate himself.
All right, we're set for the formal introductions, and right now let's go to Bruce Buffer.
SCG Sports Corporation welcomes you to the State Fair Arena in Birmingham, Alabama, for the greatest martial arts competition in the world, the Ultimate Fighting Championship ¡Number 10. 8 of the world's toughest fighters will walk into this octagon tonight. 3 veterans, 5 challengers, and only one will emerge victorious. Tonight, there are no weight classes, no rounds, and no timeouts. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Are you ready for the Ultimate Fighting Championship number 10. Our first bout of the evening. Please welcome back to the octagon a veteran of UFC number 7, the Ultimate, and UFC 9. He's a 4th degree black belt in the art of Muay Do, with black belts in Taekwondo and American Karate. He's got a UFC record of 3-1. He's 35 years old, 6 feet, 189 pounds, fighting out of Murrieta, California. The one, the only, Mark Hall! And to my right, standing at 6 feet, 1 inch tall, and weighing in at 214 pounds. He's 30 years old, a Greco-Roman wrestler with a 2nd degree black belt in the art of judo. Fighting out of Sierra Vista, Arizona, he's undefeated in the octagon. Please welcome the defending Ultimate Fighting Champion, the Predator, Don Fry!
All right, look out. When Don Fry is ready to rock, anything can happen in the octagon. He's fast and he's furious. Don't blink. The Predator against fearless Mark Hall.
And Hall did catch him with a reverse kick.
A body slam by Fry.
Fry with a beautiful takedown put Hall on his back. But Hall came out and caught the Predator with a kick to the midsection. And the Predator is now taking away pieces of Hall's midsection.
Oh my, he's got the best punching ability maybe in the UFC.
He's trying to pass that guard now. If he can clear his right leg, he'll be in a position to really go after Mark Hall.
The Predator grabs both legs of Hall. Hall hanging tough. Trying to fight back, but not much doing there.
Full
Fry
guard
goes
position.
back to the body.
Full guard position there now. Now we'll see what Fry can do against someone that does have good experience with going ahead and working the guard.
Hall's giving away 25 pounds. And Fry is known as the wrestler. He's an Arizona State wrestler for 4 years, Oklahoma State for another. Won the Las Vegas qualifier, Greco-Roman and freestyle wrestling, but he can punch too.
Short, crisp punches.
A little bit of a headbutt.
Those aren't really going to do a lot of damage.
Oh, that stuff eats at your body for a while, Chuck.
Takes time. You have to accumulate those, but those aren't the big, heavy shots. Not what we're accustomed to from Don Fry.
He's going to the solar plexus again, though. Chopping at the kidney. And Mark Hall putting up some resistance, trying to throw a punch or so, but he's just being outhandled physically.
You can see marks on the side of Mark Hall now. You were right. The accumulation of those short shots will add up to damage.
Hall punching back, a headbutt from Fry.
Indication of how, even though they're short punches, how much power Fry does have in them. His boxing skills are very good, especially when you combine them with how lethal he is as a grappler. And Hall fighting back.
Fry trying to keep the reins on Mark Hall. We know that Mark can punch, and aggressively took out Koji Katal with 400 pounds. Again, chopping away at that body. And that does hurt.
I've always wondered if they get really high in the guard, in other words, he's up over his opponent's face, why can't he bring an elbow back and try to hit him in the thigh? And that really could cause a hematoma, a Charlie horse, if you will, and really reduce mobility. Right there. Bring it right back into that quad.
Again, it's Don Fry on top, using that left hand, chopping away at the midsection of Mark Hall.
If you put that elbow right at the bottom of the quad above the knee, that could really cause swelling.
That's a lot of punches Hall's taking, trying to use the the foot as a weapon.
You can see those bruises already on the ribs.
Those punches, and now a punch to the face.
That's just a chop, but it was effective.
Look out, another punch to the head by the Predator.
It is hard to believe that Hall is letting him hit that same side.
I don't think he can do much about it.
You hear that dull thunk, that hollow sound of him hitting those ribs.
And the mouthpiece is popped out. That's a sign of fatigue. I believe it was Hall's mouthpiece. Predator, it's a tricky role now because he's in the tournament, knows he's going to have to win 3 times in a night, doesn't want to exert too much power, but if he doesn't put him away, he figures, well, then he's going to have to go the full time limit.
That is correct. That is part of the tournament strategy here. You can go out, punch once in the head and miss and wind up breaking your ankle. You have to think beyond the one fight, even though if you don't win the fight, you can't advance. So it's a very delicate, fine line you walk.
Over 4 minutes in, it's been all Don Frye, the Predator.
And continues to be.
And you can see those bruises.
I don't want to sneeze if I'm him tomorrow. But Hall is fearless. You have to give him credit. He is unafraid. He's very composed. He isn't panicking here.
Frye is trying to figure out how to end this without exerting too much strength. And he goes back to that one area, which is really going to hurt in the morning.
Well, he hasn't really done anything to try to pass the guard yet. He hasn't tried to take his hips and move those legs around him.
Well, do you think it behooves him to try to make a move or not?
I wonder if it's a sign of whether or not he is really well-versed against an experienced UFC fighter in being able to pass the guard, and being able to pass the test of the guard. This seems to be the wrestler's one shortcoming, is being able to beat the guard.
Don continues to work. He's a guy with the speed of a middleweight, the strength of a heavyweight. That makes for double trouble.
You got to believe Don Frye's right arm is getting a little bit tired by now.
Back to the solar plexus jump.
Racking up big points here.
It's actually closer to the middle of the rib cage, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
I don't think Hall's got much energy left, and I don't know if he doesn't make a move here soon. Referee John McCarthy is either going to have a restart or he might end the fight.
Well, if Frye stays active like this, the referee probably won't do anything. It's when you just lay there that he's going to stop it and bring you up to your feet.
Hall with a slight flurry. 12-minute time limit. 1 3-minute OT in the quarter.
Perhaps he heard you. He seems to be becoming more active on bottom, trying to create openings for shots. Elbows and hands, even though he's not in a good position to put power behind him, he is still nonetheless trying to get some offense going. And if Frye gets him bucked up against that octagon fence, once again, he'll be in a position where he can't move because he's bound up by Frye's body and the fence. And if Frye can time his release to create distance, he can get a couple shots in. But look at that set of ribs, Bruce.
Mark's only loss in the UFC is that Paul Varlin's a big man. Again, here he's giving away weight and also giving away power. He's still working that leg. Here's the medal of Mark Hall. But I just think he's outmatched here physically.
Well, the Predator so far has impressed people with his ability, most of all with his versatility and adaptability once he gets into the octagon. But a real good fight being put up by Mark Hall. He is not going to go away easy.
Hall now with his head up against the fence. Predator, same area, punching to the same part of the body.
It's an effective tactic. Even if he's not going to do damage, he realizes by being busy, I keep him right here.
Now he tries to go to the head. He scored a couple times there. And referee John McCarthy looking over towards the corner of Mark Hall. Wants Jerry Dupuy to see the damage that's being done by Frye. The corner does have the option to throw that towel in.
Paul, a good job here. He spent some time on his back. He is not letting Fry have one clean shot at his head. However, he is giving up his body. He is accepting the trade of not getting hit in the head, but getting hit in the body.
Fry continues to work, though. He is not relaxed at all. Couple of headbutts there.
In this heat, you can see the lacquer of sweat on both bodies here. Makes it very difficult to get a good clean bite.
Oh, punch to the head, another punch to the head by Fry.
And here's an opportunity. This is where the fence works
Hall
against.
threw a punch up, but he got nailed again.
There's the elbow. I was wondering when Fry would try to use that.
3 minutes to go in regulation. Jerry Dupuy's got a close hand on that towel in Paul's corner. I don't know how much more punishment he's going to allow.
Those ribs are just looking as though they're bleeding. They're so black and blue. But not one of those punches is
a lot of punishment
Paul.
George.
That is not one of those punches that's caused Paul to really even waver. But what they are doing is they are making a real hematoma on those ribs.
Oh, punch upstairs. I don't know. He's dominating. Jerry Dupuy's got that towel up a little bit higher.
You need to quit.
Fry continues to punch away.
You can.
And Hall continues to fight gallantly. He is not going to go away, not with his ribs. Unless Hall can break a rib, I don't think you're going to see Mark Hall want to submit out of this, or even begin to tap out. His corner may feel it's a hopeless situation, but Hall is not going to give up.
But in the UFC, Jeff, there is balance.
Oh, absolutely, and honor. And honor. You heard Fry say that he respects anyone who walks through that door of the octagon.
Fry has worked very hard on finishing, and referee John McCarthy steps in there. And I believe, is he ended it, or is he restarting it?
And I think that might be it.
I think that's it.
I think that's going to be it.
I don't think he can allow him to take any more punishment. John wants the doctor to take a look. He wants the doctor to take a look, Dr. Richard Istrigo.
Paul is not looking like a warrior at the moment. He seems to be feeling the pain, and I think that's going to do it.
That's going to be it. Even though he doesn't want to stop, he's got such tremendous courage, but there's no question that
the Predator
is one-sided.
Ladies and gentlemen,
came out and took a bite out of his side.
The winner of our first bout, Don Fry.
Oh, look at that embrace, the mutual respect. Great competitor, Mark Hall, but he was just out-handled by the power of Fry. And I think a good stoppage.
Oh, great call by John McCarthy. You don't see Mark Hall really complaining. And at the very beginning, this was the one good kick that Hall got in, and it caught Fry, but Fry immediately got in, looked like he was going to body lock him, and just slammed him to his back, and then started that relentless punching.
Jeff, he was talking about a secret weapon yesterday. That might have been it, right?
He might have thought that he could sneak one right in the midsection and take Fry out if he hits him in the solar plexus, but he ended up on his back, and the Predator took bites out of his side with those short, choppy punches.
Hey, it's the number one guy.
So the Predator remains undefeated, 5-0 in the UFC. And his corner, Dan Severn, Steve Owen, Becky Levi. Becky Levi. She's a strength and conditioning coach. She's going to be fighting in Japan, I understand.
She has signed a contract to fight in Japan, shoot fighting. And she was a world medalist in weightlifting, powerlifting. And Fry retained her to go ahead and train him in the power discipline. And it's at her gym that Fry travels to 2 hours a day to train in Tucson, Arizona.
All right, Jeff, let's get ready for our next bout in the main draw, our second quarterfinal of the evening. And it will be two newcomers to the UFC, both strikers. Scott Fiedler against Brian Johnston. Fiedler from Missouri, Johnston is from California. Let's take a look at how these two match up for this UFC 10 quarterfinal bout. As you see, both kickboxers. Fiedler 3 years older. He's got a 13-pound advantage. Both are big customers at 6'4". One is from Mizzou and one from California. Scott Fiedler will be the first man to head to the octagon. He's 10-1 in amateur kickboxing matches, 5-0 in pro boxing matches. A black belt in Kempo Karate, a black belt in Ishin-Ryu Karate. Youngest of 6 kids, learned to defend himself pretty well over the years. At age 17, started training with 2-time Golden Gloves super heavyweight champ Donnie Brown. Then went into the Marine Corps right out of school. Did some boxing smokers there. Following an honorable discharge, he started karate and did about 6 different styles.
Fiedler, his pro boxing experience, we'll see what kind of punching power he has. This is his first time in. Being a kickboxer, he can use his elbows and knees effectively. Says he has limited grappling experience, but says he can strike on the ground. So look for him to have trouble if he gets caught in the guard. Not so much him mounted, but on his back.
Scott Fiedler's approach to his first UFC. He shared thoughts with us earlier.
Hi, I'm Scotty Fiedler. I'm from Pacific, Missouri. I'm glad to be here at the UFC 10. I'm looking forward to giving all you fans a treat. Hope I don't let anybody down, and I think you're going to like what you see once I step in the octagon.
And here comes his opponent, Brian Johnston from San Jose, California. 12-0 as an amateur kickboxer. Currently the Northern California Golden Glove super heavyweight champion. His style, well, he says he has to be totally well-rounded and a package. He said Bruce Lee coined a phrase of having no way as a way. That makes sense to me, says Johnston.
Well, without a doubt it does. In other words, if you go in there with just one game plan, that is not the effective way to approach fighting. And as every one of these fighters come in, you hear these new kinds of names. And these new names are hybrids and mixes of different disciplines. Kickboxing, he says he's an experienced grappler, spent a lot of time wrestling, so look for him to be good on the ground. A Golden Gloves champion in California, he's got to have some good punching power and limited bare knuckle experience, but this is his first time in here as well as Fiedler, and let's see how these two meet up.
Brian Johnston, his debut in the UFC.
Hi, my name is Brian Johnston. I'm from San Jose, California. I didn't come here to talk tonight, came to fight.
Well, it was Michael Buffer who was last night in Madison Square Garden in that wild scene in the Bo Galata fight. With us tonight, the other Buffer, Bruce Buffer. Let's go to Bruce for the introduction.
Our second bout of the evening starts off to my left with a kickboxer with black belts in Kenpo and Ishin-Ryu Karate. He has a kickboxing record of 10-1, 7 by knockout, and a pro boxing record of 5-0, 5 by knockout. He's 29 years old, standing 6 feet 4 inches tall, and weighing in at 235 pounds. Fighting out of Pacific, Missouri, let's welcome Scotty Fiedler! And to my right, a kickboxer with a record of 12-0 in amateur competition. He holds a black belt in judo and is the reigning Northern California Golden Gloves super heavyweight champion. He's 26 years old, standing 6 feet 4 inches tall, and weighing in at 222 pounds. Fighting out of San Jose, California, let's welcome Brian Johnston!
So Johnston in the red, white, and blue trunks. Fiedler in the black trunks. Big John McCarthy will start things up.
This what you came before. You ready?
Winner of this.
Are you ready?
Let's get it on. Meeting Don Fry in the 7th. 2 newcomers. What can we expect?
Well, there's a beautiful throw by Johnston on Fiedler, and he's going to do it again. Almost got it again. There it was. He's using a trip to take out the outside leg.
Johnston takes him down again. Now Fiedler rolls with him.
Looking for a submission on that knee.
Johnston's got the knee.
Nothing yet. Nothing yet. But an interesting, this looks more like a wrestling match right now. More than one that we've ever seen before. No strikes being thrown. Just looking to try and go ahead and get position. And this is what we call a crab ride in wrestling right here. Look at that choke. Fiedler's almost got a choke on Johnston.
Fiedler on the bottom, trying to avoid the choke. Johnston on the top, see what he can do with his back to Fiedler.
Keep working. It's good. Keep working.
Trying to get out of that crab ride a little bit up against the octagon.
Keep working.
And the toes. Watch the toes into the fence there as he tries to use it for leverage. So Johnston's got that left foot swinging to the octagon wall.
Go. Keep it working. Come on.
And Fiedler's doing what he should do. When your opponent's back is to you, you should go for the choke. And he's doing an excellent job of stretching Johnston out.
Fiedler is an iron worker.
He must have been a leg rider in wrestling. Look at him. He's up high over his opponent, both legs in, and now he's looking to go ahead and deliver some shots.
And he's punching right to the back of Johnston's head.
What we used to do here is called shake them off. You want to raise your backside as high as you can and shake the opponent off the top in front. This would really put Fiedler in a vulnerable position as well.
Well, two kickboxers, and what do we have? We've got a grappling match.
Who would have thought this? Both have wrestling experience, though, but I would have thought Johnston would have had a little bit more.
Now Fiedler gets his right hand free through a punch. Johnston breaks free. Johnston trying to get to the mount position. Lands a punch to Fiedler.
Now look for him to choke.
Another punch to the side of the head.
He's approaching it like a wrestling match. This isn't what Fiedler wants to do, and he's definitely cut. There's some blood there.
Now McCarthy steps in. Johnston was pounding at the back of Fiedler's head. He's upset.
Good job. Come here.
But Johnston landed too many good punches. Oh, Brian Johnston looks like an impressive newcomer.
Now Johnston got caught for a while in a leg ride and looked as though Fiedler might have an opportunity to choke him out, but once he turned it around, the end was very quick and swift.
Well, you know, from age 12 to 22, Johnston was a freestyle wrestler. Then he learned judo at age 22 and decided he wanted to be a pro kickboxer. He went and trained with Xavier Mendez, who was world champion at the time, searched him out and found out, and he learned.
Double overhook to a leg trip there. Beautiful throw by Johnston, but unable to follow it up, so it's almost wasted. And here trying the same exact move again, cutting out that outside leg, causing the rotation over. That was right on top of Fiedler's head, but the big advantage coming out of this is Fiedler got on top. They struggle here. Johnston looking to get that leg lock, but unable to get it, and this is when Johnston took control. And this is when finally Johnston shook that high rider off, got around behind, and once he got behind, the end was very swift.
So Brian Johnston advances, 2:27 the time as the referee stops the contest. And so it will be Fry and Johnston in a semifinal bout. Should be an interesting one, too. So our first bout went 10+ minutes, and our second one, 2 minutes and 27 seconds. And the UFCs, as we've seen unfolded, have gotten longer in length each match. Here's our next matchup. Mark Coleman against Moti Horenstein. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape for this upcoming bout. It's our third quarterfinal. Coleman, a wrestler, and a good one, two-time All-American. Horenstein, survival is his discipline, basically a full contact karate guy. These are two tough newcomers and two very impressive ones at that, but very different in their approaches. Here comes Mark Coleman, 1988 NCAA champion out of Ohio State, a Buckeye, a two-time Pan Am Games gold medalist, Olympic team member in '92. And he's working with, guess who? Richard Hamilton, who has been with Fry and Severin along the way.
Well, Coleman is rugged. He's a big guy. He's a world-class wrestler. He tried out for this year's Olympic team and failed to make it. He wants to go to the ground, and once he gets there, he wants to strike. He has limited bare-knuckle experience in the octagon, The rumor on the street is he's had plenty of brawls.
Well, let's find out how Mark Coleman is taking things into account as he enters his first UFC.
I'm Mark Coleman. I represent the sport of freestyle wrestling. I plan to bring a UFC title back to Columbus, Ohio.
Mark Coleman's opponent, a different breed of fighter. Moti Horenstein from Spring Valley, New York, and he was born in Tel Aviv, Israel. Our first Israeli fighter. His discipline is survival. And recently, he was a Team USA Shidakan Tournament heavyweight champion in Chicago in April. Three-time Israeli karate champion. He can punch, he's got good power. Served 3 years in the Israeli military. He worked with the special forces and he taught self-defense. He worked out with his brother Timur.
Horenstein, another good-looking guy, big guy, 240 pounds. He calls it survival, but again, this is a hybrid form of martial art combining many elements. Lifelong martial artist, military experience, so he was trained in special forces. He does fight on a regular basis, bare knuckle in karate tournaments, and he's a stand-up fighter. So this is a classic matchup between a striker and a grappler.
Let's meet Moti Horenstein.
Hi, my name is Moti Horenstein. I'm doing martial arts for a long time. From Survivor Center, we're doing everything for Survive. I'd like to say hi to my friends and students in Survivor Center in Rockland County, Spring Valley. I'd like to say hi to my friends in Deer Mountain Camp. And I'm here to get the belt and survive.
Well, he has been a martial arts since age 5. He was influenced by Bruce Lee movies. For the formal introductions, let's go up to Bruce Buffer.
We'll begin our next bout with the fighter to my left, a freestyle wrestler, a 2-time Pan American and National Freestyle Champion, and a World Games silver medalist, and a 1992 Olympic team member. He's 31 years old, standing 6 feet, 1 inch tall, and weighing in at 245 pounds. Please welcome, from Columbus, Ohio, fighting out of Phoenix, Arizona, Mark Coleman. And to my right, a 4th-degree black belt in the survival fighting system. He's also ranked in Kyokushin Karate, U.S. Oyama World Heavyweight, and American Shotokan Heavyweight. He's also a 3-time Israeli Karate Champion. Fighting out of Spring Valley, New York, via Ra'anana, Israel, he's 31 years old, 6 feet, 2 inches tall, and weighing in at 230 pounds. Please welcome Moti Horenstein.
Well, Horenstein to me looks like a bigger version of Jean-Claude Van Damme.
He certainly does. He certainly does. And it's going to be interesting to look at this kind of matchup. Even when you look at their heroes, they're absolutely polar in their disciplines. For Mark Coleman, it was Dave Schultz, who was earlier gunned down this year, Olympic champion. Moti Horenstein, Bruce Lee. So there you have their differences right away, striking and grappling.
And Coleman considered one of the best wrestlers in the world. We saw what Mark Schultz did in his debut in the UFC. Let's see what Coleman does.
It's Horenstein coming after him, deflects that first double.
Coleman takes him down.
And we're in the guard here.
A big punch by Coleman to the face of Horenstein. Moti covering up. And Moti trying to roll out of there. Didn't want that face wide open. Coleman with the elbow to the back.
Horenstein here might be overpowered. Coleman very tough here. He's just not going to let Horenstein go. He'll be able to keep him down.
Horenstein good on his feet. Also adept on the ground, but probably not in the same class as Coleman.
Certainly not when it comes to winning a wrestling duel between who's going to get the takedown. Coleman got the takedown.
Coleman has shown us a little bit of everything.
And Coleman now is thinking, this was the worry I had about a wrestler coming in and just coming out and just going nuts and not getting what he wants and suddenly being burned out and frustrated. He's now taking his time. They're right in front of Richard Hamilton, his trainer. He can take direction, and if he wants to, take a blow by getting close to his opponent, breathe, separate, and go ahead and start striking again.
Right hand by Coleman. You saw him triple up that right hand before, and not many guys know that who aren't in boxing. Well, Richard Hamilton's been very successful in the UFC. He's got another one here in Coleman. Trained out of Grand Canyon.
We've seen a lot of these fighters now turn their back on their opponent. I can't believe they're doing it. Coleman better be careful. He circles towards the head, and he might find himself catching a knee. He's past the guard. He's past the guard. Now he wants to mount. Now he wants to mount. He wants to get his right knee over the top and sit right down on his opponent's lap.
Had a side mount position momentarily. Now Coleman looking to try to unleash the right hand. Not too much damage there.
Glancing. Right, close but glancing.
Hornstein might be best up here trying to get back to his feet.
That's what you want to do when you pass the guard, is use every weapon as it comes to bear. He concentrates on your hands, bring your knee up.
Choke, choke, choke!
Hornstein using those legs. He's got very good kicking ability, but somewhat neutralized when you're in that type of defensive posture.
Well, he's elbowing what appears to be Coleman's right thigh. Oh,
right hand,
that's gonna end it.
Coleman, a couple of bombs to Hornstein, and that ended it. Big John McCarthy said no more. Modi is okay. Coleman, wow, he's got to be calmed down. He didn't even want to stop.
Well, he's a little excited. First time in there, break the ice. He'll calm down.
And now he gets a big hug from Modi Hornstein.
And returns the hug. And he returns the hug.
Very nice.
Let's have a big hand for our winner, Mark Coleman.
Punches to the head were the big story there.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big hand to our other
Coleman
fighter.
passes his first test in the octagon. A lot of people who were familiar with the UFC said that they looked for a Fry-Coleman showdown in the finals. Coleman on top. What you want to do is get separation, and when you get the right separation and can time it, follow it with the punch, and there it was. 1, 2, and at this point he's defenseless when he covers up. Good job by John McCarthy.
Even though he missed the third punch, John said enough.
Oh, when he covers up like that, that's not a defense. That's a, hey, please, no more. Right there. It's almost as though he should have tapped out.
You know, you really can't, though. You got to protect yourself.
Absolutely, absolutely. McCarthy, a great job there. You could see the punching power of Coleman when it's on a direct line.
2:43 the time, so Mark Coleman is victorious. And he, as you said, passes his first test. Wanted to share with you how the times have changed. In our first UFC, it was 1:37, the average length of a match. And by the 7th UFC, it had swelled to 5:08. So that pattern has been continuing all the way up here to UFC 10.
And that's nothing but evolution, Bruce. As these fighters learn what mixed martial arts is all about, they start to retain the basics of the guard, how to protect yourself when on the ground.
Jeff, it's all about hybrid cross-training.
Exactly.
We used to stamp everybody as a striker and grappler, and I remember we used to sit in the room with Don the Dragon Wilson and say, well, what is this guy, striker or grappler? Now, almost everybody is both.
That's exactly right, but it seems, though, that grappling background dictates the environment. In other words, they bring it down to the ground. But once you get there, you still have to know what to do, and that means how well do you strike, and how do you create opportunities to strike, whether it's with elbows, whether it's with feet, whether it's with your fists.
Here's our next bout. Final one of the quarterfinals. John Campatella against Gary Big Daddy Goodrich. And there's some muscles. There's some muscles in this one.
This has got to be the combined biggest bicep fight in the world.
Here's the tale. 263 to 235, so that's almost a quarter ton in the ring in the octagon tonight. One from Ontario, one from New York. Let's meet our first competitor in this bout, John Campatella. Staten Island, New York, second-degree black belt in Vadha Kempo Karate. He teaches at 2 American Vadha Kempo schools. He's a high school biology teacher at Lincoln High School in Brooklyn, New York. He's completing his master's at Staten Island College. He's been in martial arts for 12 years.
And he is one strong, physical-looking specimen. Former wrestler, limited bare-knuckle experience. If he's as good in wrestling as his background indicates, it's probably going to come down to a ground battle.
All right, let's find out a little bit more about the man whose name is John Campatella.
Okay, I'm John Campatella from Staten Island, New York. I practice American Vada Kempo. Waited a long time to test my skills in the octagon. I finally have my chance. I'm looking forward to the competition.
Well, he says it's all about showing what is effective in a fighting system. That's what the UFC is all about, and I want to show how a lot of that fits into what we do in Vada Kempo Karate.
His trainer is Frank Barone, instructor Professor John Salvaggio.
Let's meet his opponent, the Big Daddy, Gary Goodrich. He's from Barrie, Ontario. The 93 Canadian Amateur Super Heavyweight Boxing Champion. He was the runner-up in UFC 8. He's 2-2 in the octagon. He lost to Mark Schultz when the referee stopped the contest prior to OT in UFC 9 in a bout fight card. Arm wrestler, 15 years. Once put down 1,000 men in a row in 2 hours in Japan. He's got experience that Campatella does not have.
Exactly, and we've seen that as a huge advantage in here, knowing exactly what you're going to run into and knowing how to deal with the nerves surrounding entering the octagon and dealing with fighters away from the octagon.
Here's a look at Big Daddy's martial arts cross-training style.
Power over technique. He's somebody that wants to use what God-given power he has, and he's got punches. Limited ground skills, though he does know the guard. He's a knockout puncher, and we saw with devastating effect what he can do with his elbows. He will strike on the ground.
So here at the Alabama State Fair Arena in Birmingham, Alabama, we're ready for our fourth quarterfinal bout of the evening. Bruce Buffer to lead us through.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready for our last...
Big Daddy has been accused of a lot of things. Nice guy trying to be mean, mean guy trying to be nice. You decide for yourself. Tough talk's over. It's time to get nasty.
Years old, 5 feet, 9 inches tall, and weighing in at 235 pounds. He's fighting out of Staten Island, New York. Let's hear it for John Campatella. And to my right, standing at 6 feet, 3 inches tall, and weighing in at 263 pounds. He's 30 years old, a second-degree black belt in martial art cross-training. He's a fourth-degree black belt in Kuk Sool Won, the 1993 Canadian Amateur Super Heavyweight Boxing Champion, the UFC 8 runner-up, and he's 2-2 in UFC competition. You know him as the Big Daddy. His name is Gary Goodrich.
So it's Goodrich against Campatella. Campatella from well-known Lincoln High School in Brooklyn, New York, same high school that produced the likes of Lou Gossett Jr. and Marv Albert and Stephon Marbury.
Well, heroes for Campatella, Lee and Arnold Schwarzenegger. And for Goodrich, Martin Luther King.
Up against the back of the octagon wall. Goodrich.
Oh, fireman's carry.
Fire thrown.
Nothing there.
Back to their feet. Quick knee by Campatella.
Uppercut.
Good right hand by Campatella.
This might be the first person in which Goodrich has felt somebody equally as powerful with the arms.
Another uppercut by Campatella. Oh, he punched to the back of the head. Now Goodrich swinging his elbow out. Got a lot of brute force in there.
Unbelievable power between these two, particularly the upper body. Let's see how long Campatella can go, and Goodrich goes to the ground. He hooked it up and he pulled him right down, and he's probably going to test him here. Look for a submission, see how well versed Campatella is in trying to pass the guard.
So Goodrich in the guard. Let's see what Gary can do. He lost to Don Fry in the finals of UFC 8. Lost his bout 9, back for the third straight time.
Interesting, he's got his robe, the gi, the arm sleeves rolled up, which means he can't really use them as a grip with one hand to hold Campatella.
Nice move by Gary Big Daddy Goodrich.
Oh,
left
good
hand.
left hand.
Another left hand. Look out, it's over. 3 left hands in a row by Big Daddy. And McCarthy stepped right in. A sudden reversal and a surge of power from Big Daddy.
Wow. Well, that left eye looks pretty closed up already for Campatella. John McCarthy sticking by his call.
Gary Goodrich.
Crowd, I don't know if they're happy about this one.
They're not, because Campatella still is very much there physically, but you can see the damage to his left eye. It's nearly closed right now. And McCarthy thought those 2 unabated hard shots by Goodrich was the beginning of some real bad damage, and he ended it.
Here's another look at it.
Well, Campatella was on top. Goodrich had the guard on him. And somehow Goodrich was able to reverse that situation, which led to that final struggle. Campatella in. As soon as Goodrich put that underhook, he went for a fireman's carry here, a typical wrestling move. This is where Paul Herrera cuts some mean elbows. Campatella able to avoid it, get out. Goodrich able to get back to his feet. And then after the reversal, there was that first shot. Then there. And again, those were the 3-4 shots in a row, and McCarthy had seen enough, and there was some good damage to the left eye, stopped it from getting worse.
Another look, Jeff.
1. Clean shot in there, unabated. 2, 3, and 1 more for good measure, and that's when McCarthy said, hey, 4 in a row, good shots, that's enough.
And here's the Big Daddy's reaction. He had to work for it. He was in against a very, very strong guy. I think the first time he went in there against someone who had raw power similar to his own. But Goodrich advances. So we had 4 ref stops contest in the opening round. A wild action in the UFC. Let's take a look at what has transpired thus far tonight in the Alabama State Fair Arena in Birmingham. First it was Don the Predator Fry. It took him 10 minutes and 23 seconds before the ref stopped the contest in the bout against Mark Hall. Then Brian Johnson. He went 2:27 before the ref stopped it against Scotty Fiedler. Then it was Mark Coleman, 2:43 against Modi Horenstein. Again, McCarthy stepped in. And finally, Gary Goodrich taking the least amount of time. Short work of John Campatella, 1:27, and the ref stopped the contest there. Well, a lot of you at home have been voting in on our online poll as to who you think is the greatest fighter in the history of the UFC. Whatever the final tally is, there's one man who has certainly been the most controversial, Tank Abbott. Let's take a closer look. When it comes to excitement in the octagon, DL Tank Abbott never fails to deliver. A devastating puncher with dynamite in his fist. Tank's UFC debut was nothing less than awesome. He KO'd 400-pound John Matua in just 21 seconds. The polar bear Paul Varlin was next to go. And it took Oleg Taktarov 19-plus minutes and every sambo move he had to stop the Tank in the championship fight. In the ultimate, Tank made short work of UFC 3 champ Steve Jenner, then ran headfirst into the beast, Dan Severn. Currently on a 6-month suspension for his brawl in Bayamon, a ringside scuffle with Brazilian fighter Alan Goes, Tank is slated to return to competition in September's UFC 11. Can he still wreak havoc in the octagon? One thing's for sure, good or bad, wherever Tank goes, there's bound to be plenty of excitement. Well, last night in Alabama, we caught Tank working out in the gym, trying to keep himself in shape for the upcoming UFC in the fall. And this is 600 pounds. Let's see if he can handle it.
Come on.
Oh, my. Not bad work by the Tank.
with David Isaacs looking on. Congratulations. Tank Abbott joins us now. Tank, nice to have you with us.
How you doing, Bruce?
Good, very good.
Tank, we got to ask you, we haven't seen you in some time since Puerto Rico. What happened down there?
Somebody got smart with me, and I had to lay the law down. I can't let people talk to me like that. Basically, it was a one-time thing. You know, I kind of laughed it off later. If I would have took it further, I'm coming after your ass, and I'll knock on your front door and take care of you.
But, Tank, you have to have an ability in this thing to keep your head about you, or else you're not going to get a chance to fight.
Well, that's very true. So let's throw down some IQ points, and we'll see all these mental giants you have here, and we'll see who comes up on top.
Well, now that you're off your suspension, what are your plans? What do you want to do?
What do I want to do? Let me tell you something. When I count days, I'm counting days to get out of a cage. Now I'm counting days, 70 and running, to get back into a cage. And
are you saying you have signed to fight again?
I'm fighting September 20th unless another Art Davie situation arises. Basically, let's put it this way. You've seen Discovery Channel. You've seen some animals rip apart a gazelle. That's what's going to happen.
Well, what do you think of the fighters that you've seen here tonight? You've had a chance to observe all of them.
Absolutely some good cocktail fun. Drinking a few cocktails, watching the show.
How do you assess these fighters?
Nothing tickling me with a feather. I like how Fry all of a sudden does a return about face, and all of a sudden a tough guy wants to kill people. What's that about? I thought he was a nice guy. Looks like Tom Selleck to me.
Hey, Tank, you know, we saw you, one of the few guys that smiled in the octagon looking out as you were enjoying putting some punishment on your opponent. Is that something we'll see from you again or no?
Well, that's the only reason why I'm in here. Let's put it this way. You only win a fight by hurting your opponent. I've never seen anybody do something to win a fight without hurting their opponent, and that's what fighting's about. It's to dominate the other person, and that's what I'm here to do.
But so much of martial arts is about honor and discipline and respect. What do you think of those words?
Well, that's for Don the Dragonfly Wilson, and let him go do, where's he at? He's probably making a Godzilla voiceover that you'll see at 3 in the morning.
Yeah, he's making a lot of cash, Tank. Give him some credit.
Well, wow, you know what? That's the point. I'm not here to make cash. I'm here to do things.
Well, in a way, Tank, you are a walking contradiction. You appear to be undisciplined. You show no respect at all in honor or otherwise around or in the octagon. Okay, that's good. And some people really feel that you don't train hard enough, that conditioning might be the only thing that holds you back. How would you respond to those?
Well, let's put it this way. You saw Glam Rock and you saw Freddie Mercury look-alike or whatever. They fought for 27 minutes and they all hid behind a second clock of a hand. They didn't go out to fight. Let's put it this way. When I go in there, I'm not going out to win. I'm going out to fight. And, you know, you make up your decisions. My father says, get off that crap. Step into the octagon and fight. You don't need to wave a giant carrot in front of my face to get in there. I don't need excuses. I will be in there. Quit keeping me from being in there.
Tank, do you revel in wearing the black hat in the UFC?
I don't wear any hat. You see a hat on me?
No, I don't. I see a headset tonight.
There you go. Isn't it beautiful?
Well, Tank, we really want to thank you, and we're going to look forward to some of your commentary during the next semifinal fight.
And, Jeff, are you excited? It's Olympic time. You're an Olympic champion. You must be basking in some prior glory, and hey, I have to say right on to that. And then Bruce Beck over here is the consummate professional. Does well.
Well, it's nice for you to turn the tables and start interviewing us, but you are going to join us. So Tank's going to do some commentary.
Are you shutting me down? What's going on?
Well, Tank, you know, I also realized that I was a warrior many years ago. I also know my place right now is behind a microphone, not in the octagon.
Maybe I'll join you.
That's your place, but you really do seem to thrive on that villain role. You really, and it seems that you once made a comment after a fight that, hey, the people in the bars need a person to cheer for too.
Well, I'll tell you this. I'm not a villain. I'm just myself, and you can label me any way you want to. I don't wear a kimono, and I'm not from Brazil, and I'm just here.
Thank you, Tank. Thank you very much, and we can continue now with the show.
All right, it's Don Fry against Brian Johnston. Tank will stick with us for this semifinal match. It should be a good one. Johnston in his debut tonight was a victor in 227 over Scott Fiedler. Here's the tail of the tape. It's wrestling against kickboxing. 8-pound advantage for Johnston. He's also got a 3-inch height advantage, but he's up against the guy who's 5-0, still undefeated in the octagon, the Predator, Don Fry. Let's bring in the Fry Man, Don Fry, the Predator, who continues to roll. It took him 10:23 to put away Mark Hall in his opening bout. He's got a mean streak that runs 10 generations deep. Pennsylvania Dutch, Irish, Scottish, Cherokee, Warrior. A 3-time state champion in wrestling in high school. He sees himself as a combination of Marco Huas and Oleg Tektarov. Let's listen in to the Predator, Don Fry.
Same thing as before. I'm Don Fry. My strategy for this next fight is exactly as the last one. I'm going to walk in there and I'm going to destroy this man.
You going to be up here? Okay.
Fry's opponent is Brian Johnston, the kickboxer who hails from San Jose, California. Almost took a match versus Oleg Tektarov as a last-minute substitute for Pat Smith, but the match never came to fruition. He's working with a guy named Mike Swain, who's this year's Olympic judo coach. I'll grapple or punch with anybody, says Johnston. He's working out with the San Jose State judo team. He compares his style to guess who? Don Fry. He's also working with trainer James Thompson, putting everything together, the kicks, the punches, the grappling.
Xavier Menendez is his other instructor and workout partner. Trains at the American Kickboxing Academy in San Jose, California.
All right, let's hear once again from Mr. Brian Johnston.
I feel that the combination of judo and kickboxing makes me a very versatile fighter, and I guess we'll find out when I fight my next opponent.
All right, we're set to go for the formal introduction. Semifinal number 1, Fry against Johnston. Here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for the second round of competition? Then let's go. Standing to my left at 6 feet, 1 inch tall, and weighing in at 214 pounds. He's a 30-year-old, a Greco-Roman wrestler with a second-degree black belt in the art of judo. Fighting out of Sierra Vista, Arizona, undefeated in the octagon. Please welcome the defending Ultimate Fighting Champion, the Predator, Don Fry. And to my right, a kickboxer with a record of 12-0 in amateur competition. He holds a black belt in judo and is the reigning Northern California Golden Glove Super Heavyweight Champion. 26 years old, 6 feet, 4 inches tall, and weighing in at 222 pounds. Fighting out of San Jose, California, let's welcome Brian Johnston.
All right, Tank, what are your thoughts going into this fight? Tank, give me your thoughts.
Well, I would have to go with the Fry Man. I'd have to go with Magnum PI.
The Predator.
What does Johnston have to do in your opinion here, Tank?
Throw the towel in.
That quickly?
I don't know.
That quickly?
You know what? You can never tell when you step into the octagon. He looked pretty tough before. I kind of like how everybody's got gloves on now. What's happening?
Ready? Let's get it
Perhaps
on.
you showed him something there, Tank.
You have set the style. Here we go. Fry and Johnston.
Not bad. Not bad. Looks good. We got to fight, gentlemen.
Fry in tight now, pushing Johnston up against the octagon fence. Knee to the midsection. And Johnston is throwing some heavy leather there.
Keep in mind, Fry threw a lot of punches in the first fight with that right hand.
That's nothing right there.
Up against the chain link fence.
And grappling now taking hold as they bind and clinch.
I like his shorts. They're right in front of me. The flag. It's Olympic time. Jeff's going to relate with that. There's a foot sweep right there.
Right hand landed by Johnson.
Another right hand there.
Maybe I was wrong. Starting to sound like George Foreman.
That's okay to change your tune once in a while. Knee by Johnston. Another knee.
Those are nearly finding their mark. You got to figure that Fry, even though he's in great shape, worked a lot harder than Johnston did in that first fight.
It was about an 8-minute difference, Jeff.
And Johnston isn't backing down at all.
No, not at all. I take back what I said. Will you call me George?
Fry now looking as though he might have a little bit of fatigue, but this just could be a real good surge by Johnston.
They've been on their feet the entire fight. Knees have been the punch or the throw that's been used the most. Right hand by Johnston.
There it is.
And Johnston here seeming to get the better of Don Fry.
And he's relaxed. Yeah, that's very key. You got to be relaxed. Don't blow your wad all in once.
He looks confident, Tank.
Yes.
Well, Johnston has a background, supposedly a long background in wrestling, 10 years, and it didn't seem that he really did much against Fiedler in that first match. It seemed that he was being out-wrestled, but here he's controlling, he's keeping Fry off of him, and it's him who's doing the better punching at this point.
If you don't know how to wrestle, you don't know how to fight. That's the prerequisite to fighting.
Now that warms my heart more than the Olympics right now.
Good right hand by Fry. Fry's back against the chain link fence.
He really seems as though he's fatigued.
Well, this is the first fighter that he's fought that's of size. There's a hug. There's a hug. Push your hips out. He's out of that.
Well, Goodrich has size, but it seems
right now there's a hug. There's the hug.
Fry's got control.
Get to your feet right now.
And
right now is a perfect stand-up.
I agree with Tank right now. Johnston doesn't want to stay down because I think
come up now.
Without a doubt, Fry is a better wrestler than Fiedler.
Well, it looked like Severn slapping me in the head right there. That don't do anything.
Fry has got a lot of blood right now on his forehead. I'm not sure if that's coming from Johnston or from Fry.
That don't hurt. Post a leg and get up. Right there you are. He's got the
elbows by Fry.
Looks like Fry's riding the clock right now. I mean, he's behind the second hand. Let's try to take him out. Let's not sit around and wait for a buzzer.
He's using the left hand. That's what he can throw from that position.
He's too high. If he got up on his toes and starts shaking, Fry's going to fall off front. You agree with me on that, Joe?
Well, this is what he did with Fiedler, but I would say that Fry's a little bit more experienced in wrestling than Fiedler is, and he might know what to do to counter him.
Right, now he's back. He's got his hips under him. He's all right.
They're a chance of USA right now in this arena in Birmingham, and that's for Johnston, wearing the red, white, and blue trunks. They're going for the underdog.
Johnston doesn't want to stay under here that long. Tank's right. He wants to get out.
There you go. Hand control. There you go. Keep going. No, you shouldn't have done that. Hand control and get out and fight from your feet.
Basic rule of wrestling on the bottom. Hand control first, then move your body. He didn't have hand control. He tried to roll, got caught, and
no, don't belly down. Now he's in trouble.
Side mount here. A big right
Watch
hand.
that knee. Watch Johnston.
Tap out 437.
And Don Fry survives a tough encounter. He looks tired.
Yeah, Don Fry had his first fight in the UFC, in my opinion.
Very good fight, Tank.
By Superman in Superman's underwear.
Don Fry wins it on the tap out. Very good action.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was some battle, don't you
good
think?
for a while, but when he ended up on the ground, Tank, that's not where he wanted to be.
No, absolutely.
And a big hand.
He did a hell of a job. You got to take your hats off to both of these guys. Anybody that steps into the octagon's got to have major-sized balls.
Well, better you than me, Tank, saying that. There was Dan the Beast Severn, the super fight champion from UFC 9.
Who?
And there's the Predator.
I thought that was Freddie Mercury.
No, he's actually Danny Severn.
I had a bad dream. I thought I was getting raped by Freddie Mercury in the Ultimate Ultimate.
All right, Tank, let's take a look at some of the footage, some of the action.
Let's check it out.
From that bout. Punches at the beginning first.
Right here, nice elbows. I necessarily don't think the elbows hurt that much. Or knees, take that back. Those are some good shots to the ribs. Those take their toll. He doesn't have any leverage punching him in the head there at all.
It ends up as a Fry takedown, I believe, Tank.
Okay, he's got the foot sweep there. Right here in the hug. He's doesn't got the girth to push his hips out to keep the takedown from happening, but at least he ended up on his knees and his hands.
And now some elbows from Don Fry.
I think elbows and knees are overrated.
Really?
Unless you got a guy on Queer Street.
What about the accumulation of blows?
Yeah, well, you've seen me. I'm immune to that kind of stuff. Maybe I'm not. I don't know.
Oh, we all know you're human somewhere in there, Tank. Come on.
Tank,
I love the world. How's that?
Tank, here's the tap out. What do you think happened here?
I don't know. What, is he going to get up and say, like, Goodbridge, who runs away, comes back to fight another day?
I think
it looks like a pussy today. I don't
that
know.
elbow opened up a cut on Johnston. That one elbow there, and that might have been what triggered Johnston to tap out.
Well, Tank, your verbiage certainly is more geared for pay-per-view than any other medium.
Well, hey, you know, you got to call it the way you see it, and that's what's up. And you will see it in September. I'll strap down. I'm ready to go. Let's go. Let's button it down. Let's quit the challenges. Let's quit everything. Let's quit the carrot waving. Let's come in here and let's fight.
Tank, we'll see you in the fall.
It's good to see you, Bruce and Jeff.
Tank, thank you very much.
Likewise.
It was a pleasure talking with you.
Right on.
Well, if you didn't know, that was Tank Abbott, our special guest commentator. Questionable whether he'll ever be asked back on the airwaves. Well, if you think you're seeing a tough field of competitors here tonight, wait until September 20th. Our next bout is going to be Mark Coleman against Gary Big Daddy Goodrich, and this one looks to be another really nice matchup.
I just need a call.
Once again, let's go back to September 20th. That's the date where you'll see Tank in action. Jeff Blatnick will join me. Don the Dragon Wilson will be back from his movie career, and it will be UFC 11 Live. So mark your calendar and clear your schedule for Friday, September 20th. You'll see the winner of tonight's tournament defending his title against a new field of fighters and at least one returning veteran, Tank Abbott, DL Tank Abbott. He will not be a color commentator, thank God. He will be back in the octagon. Join us in person or on pay-per-view to witness the return of the Tank and martial arts history in the making. So it's Gary Big Daddy Goodrich coming up. Take it on Mark Coleman with the winner to get the Predator, Don Fry. Tail of the tape for this second semifinal of the evening at the Alabama State Fair Arena in Birmingham, Alabama, the Pittsburgh of the South, the Magic City. Here's a look at the specific numbers for this upcoming battle. Goodrich 263, Coleman at 245. Goodrich has the height advantage. It's U.S. against Canada, Columbus, Ohio against Barrie, Ontario. And in this, the Olympic year, there's always a special spirit when you get involved with nations battling against each other this time.
Oh, without a doubt. And actually, this is going to be Coleman's birth into the UFC. This is his first experienced fighter he'll take on.
Mark Coleman first to head to the octagon. First UFC for the silver medalist in the World Games, the Olympic team member in '92, two-time national freestyle champion. I don't think anyone can hold me on my back, he said. I'll just come up and get on top and use elbows. I'm doing this for all the freestyle wrestlers. I don't want to let them down. I know I'm coming in green, says Coleman, but I'm confident my instincts will take over and things will go my way.
Well, in his first fight, it certainly did go his way. He dominated, got on top, and after some struggle in learning how to pass the guard, particularly under a fight environment, he passed the test, punishing his first-round opponent, Moti Horenstein.
Well, if you didn't hear from Mark Coleman earlier, here's a chance to hear from him once again.
My name is Mark Coleman. My basic strategy is to use my freestyle wrestling skills to get my opponent to the mat as quickly as possible, finish him off with some knees and elbows, or look for the choke.
Mark Coleman coming off his first victory in the UFC in 243 over Moti Horenstein when the referee stopped the contest. His opponent is Big Daddy Gary Goodrich. He had a tough battle. It went only a minute 27, but he was up against the furious John Campatella, a welder at an auto plant just outside of Barrie, Ontario. He studied law, security, and business administration at Georgian College in Barrie, Ontario. He says UFC is like arm wrestling. It's a game of chess, moves and counter moves. He calls himself a gentle giant. I beg to disagree.
Not after what happened to Haran. That label got removed very quickly as he elbowed his opponent into submission. And he'll be looking to do the same to a very strapping Mark Coleman. Coleman will face a person that's equally as strong as he in Gary Goodrich.
Well, he says his mom called him Goody 4 years ago. It changed to Big Daddy. Let's listen in.
All right. You've seen Big Daddy work now. You've seen what I'm all about. You'll see a lot of it more next round.
Set to go. Coleman, Goodrich, winner gets Fry in UFC 10. The tournament returns. Here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, the last fight of our second round competition begins with the fighter on my left, a freestyle wrestler, a two-time Pan American and national freestyle champion, a World Games silver medalist, and a 1992 Olympic team member. He's 31 years old, standing 6 feet, 1 inch tall, and weighing in at 245 pounds. Please welcome, from Columbus, Ohio, fighting out of Phoenix, Arizona, Mark Coleman. And to my right, standing at 6 feet, 3 inches tall, and weighing in at 263 pounds. He's 30 years old and a second-degree black belt in martial arts cross-training. He's a fourth-degree black belt in Kuk Sool Won. He's also the 1993 Canadian Amateur Super Heavyweight Boxing Champion, the UFC 8 runner-up, and he's 2-2 in UFC competition. You know him as the Big Daddy Gary Goodrich.
All right, Big Daddy against Coleman. What do you think, Jeff?
This is too close to call, but I'd have to go with... I'm going to have to go with Coleman with superior grappling skill, but boy, I'll tell you, Goodrich is dangerous. But Campatella gave him a heck of a fight for as long as it lasted. Here's the shot.
Coleman takes him down. Goodrich quickly gets to the guard.
And here's somebody that's really powerful. Coleman is not weak at all. He is very, very strong. He may not have the same size arms as Goodrich, but with all that wrestling and he's still in his physical prime, he is extremely tough.
And this is a bout which might go a while.
Well, it's going to come down to here whether or not Coleman can solve the guard. If he can, watch out for Gary Goodrich.
Oh, good headbutt there by Coleman. And I'll tell you, the gi is not going to be a positive for Goodrich because it's hot in here. The humidity is very high. Let's see if Coleman takes his time and just picks his spots, Jeff. He's got lots of wrestling experience. He knows the pacing of the verses.
I'll tell you, those, even though they were sideways punches, you could feel it. You could feel it through the octagon padding.
That octagon, 750 square feet of face, 32 feet across.
With Coleman's background in wrestling, and this, I don't mean to harp on wrestling. Yes, I am a wrestler, but without a doubt, he can keep an opponent down, particularly the elite level that Coleman competed at. He competed in the Olympic trials this year, missing the team, so he's still very good at the sport.
I believe he lost to Dan Slade. He finished 6th. He beat Mark Kerr, and he had a pretty good run. He's been working with kickboxers, wrestlers, and grapplers and submission guys.
Kerr is supposedly another one of the wrestlers, potentially, who might be coming to the UFC. See how Coleman does here.
Coleman schooled by Richard Hamilton right now.
Team Phoenix.
Goodrich is not panicking in any way. He's just very relaxed.
Biding his time. This is the big test. This is the baptism for Coleman.
Royce Gracie was the first to show how patience can work.
Keep working, good.
Trying to pass the guard, he did it.
Good move by Coleman. Got Goodrich up against the fence.
That's where he wanted to choke, but there's no room for him to really come over the top.
Carrying to his knees.
Watch for Suplee. Also watch for that Goodrich elbow.
Right, and Coleman